Welcome to Cuts and Relays as taught here at Pendleton Heights High School. Wanted to go through a few basic principles that we use to teach cuts and relays with the varsity program. The key word for us is we want to be aggressive. When we think of being aggressive, oftentimes in baseball we think of base running, being aggressive on the bases, or as a pitcher getting ahead or challenging hitters, or even aggressive as hitters, reaching out for that first pitch fastball and putting it into play, getting a good swing on it. But we also apply that aggressive mentality to defense. But in order for that to happen and for that to be done effectively, we have to know where we're supposed to be on the field at all times. Because if we're going to be aggressive, there's going to be, mistake throws. There's going to be one-hops. There's going to be overthrows. And if we've got guys in the right positions, we can afford to take those risks. But that goes without saying then is that every single play, every single time a ball is put into play, we need to know where we're supposed to be. And so I wanted to take you through the basic defensive philosophy that we have, even on a very simple play, and then we can start to progress into more specific or advanced positioning based on runners and where they're at, number of outs, that type of thing. But let's just start with a simple concept here. Nobody on single to right. The ball's hit to right field. Every single person has a responsibility now. So the runner's going to be moving to first base. We want to be able to challenge that hitter, or challenge that runner, and perhaps stealing out on the bases. So let's look at our basic alignment. Once the ball's hit to right field, we've got to get the ball to second base, right? The idea is to keep that runner at first. So we're going to move in the direction that we see here on the screen. Our second baseman is going to be coming out to be our shortcut. We've got our shortstop then covering second base. Our third baseman note is still going to be in this backup role. Our center fielder is moving over towards right field in case the right fielder makes an error, mistake, or falls down or breaks an ankle, whatever. We've got our center fielder there to pick up the pieces. Our left fielder is moving in as well. At this point, we are going to assume that this runner is going to come around the bag. We've all seen runners get to first base. They're very happy with themselves. They're kind of excited that they've got it on base. They come around first base, can oftentimes be, a little bit lackadaisical. We want this throw to happen. We want this throw to happen. Our second baseman, as soon as he catches the ball from this cut position, is pivoting and he is firing to first base. That is the goal. But to make that happen, right, we have to make sure that this guy stays at first base. Our catcher's number one job is to be the backup for this particular play. This right here. Now, once the throw comes in, our left fielder is going to have to start to think about maybe migrating over here to left center, because if this throw does happen right here and our runner takes off for second, the next throw would be from first base to shortstop, and then left field would need to be the cut. If that throw is not possible, we're just going to lob it back in here to second base, and our pitcher is kind of moving this direction in case of a bobble around the bag. And this is our basic defensive alignment on a single to right. Now, that same principle then can be applied to the center field. Same thing, a single to center. Our second baseman and our shortstop at this point are going to need to be talking. We're likely going to send the shortstop out here to be the cut, because typically on a field, our shortstop has the stronger arm, which is why he's further away from first base. We can make those longer throws. We also want that guy then to be the one who is in back pick mode. Anything over here to right field or right center, our second baseman has the first cut. Anything here to center or beyond is going to be our shortstop's job. All right, so we'll see our migrations again by our hitters or by our fielders. Our right fielder is moving towards center. The shortcut there from shortstop. Shortstop, your job right here is to pivot and fire back here. And we don't need a lot of room here. I mean, if he's off 10 to 12 feet, that ball comes flying in, we've got a decent chance to put some pressure on that runner. But same thing, we're going to fire back into your shortstop if that is not a possibility. Our pitcher, not so far this time, right? Our pitcher needs to be in backup mode. He is the one backup now. And so we need to be pretty deep here. We need to be pretty deep. In fact, we wouldn't want to be too far off the mound itself. So we can move left or right. The ball comes in, and the runner is held at first base. And then lastly, on a single to left, same idea. We want our shortstop to be our cut, being that he is the closest, plus he has the strongest arm. We want this throw to happen. So our catcher, note, he's gotten further and further up the line each time. Right? We want that angle. We want to draw a line through our cut to first base to the catcher. This is how it should be. Now, it's difficult to kind of visualize it here because of the dimensions of this digital field, but this catcher has got to be pretty deep, right? This catcher needs to be deep enough where he can move left or right depending on the errant throw, high or low. We want to make sure that this guy is deep enough to be able to read the overthrow. And that is the basic philosophy behind our defensive alignment on a nobody on single anywhere to the field.